First of all, I want to wish Coach Venables the best of luck. Got a ton of respect for him and his program and how they do things, and think a lot of him personally as well. Just so happy for our players to come off the heartbreak of last week and respond like we did today was really freaking awesome to watch. I think there was very much a mentality with our players after last week of enough's enough, and we know what kind of team we can be. It's time to, we talked about just, we've been banging on the door. It's time to kick the door down. And we certainly kicked the door down today as well. You can hear it across the hall, the wall in that locker room, how excited they are. But I'm just so happy to be their coach. So proud of them. Coming back every Sunday, I finish that teleconference with you guys, and then I go outside for practice. And every Sunday, my energy is renewed, and I walk off that field just so grateful to be their coach because of how they just come back and just continue to work. And it would have been very easy, human nature. We put everything into last week, and it didn't go well at the end, and just say, man, we keep working our butts off, and it doesn't happen, and go the other way. And that's the opposite of what this team did today. They responded. We said going into the game that one of our keys to victory was every week it's to win the turnover battle, but this week we actually used the word dominate the turnover battle, and they absolutely did. What a start. Points are hard against these guys. Everybody that's played them can attest to that. They're a great defensive team. So we knew that points were going to be hard, and when you can score like that on defense, particularly to start the game, that is a great way to start the game on the road in the SEC, and one of the greatest, the home stadium, one of the greatest programs in the history of college football. I mean, this is a blue blood if there ever was one, and I know firsthand about that as well. So really proud of our guys. Hated the way we played in the third quarter, and that was disappointing. We talked about it at halftime. A lot of coaches come in there and say, oh, it's 0-0, and we didn't have any of that 0-0 talk. At the first half, we were dominating, and I wanted to see us come out there and dominate the second half in all three phases as well, and disappointed in the third quarter. We had a nice drive going, and then we have two penalties that back us up on offense on the first drive, and then we give up a deep ball over our heads and freaking too deep coverage, protecting against a shot. So that's disappointing, but just road wins are hard, and especially road wins against a program with the tradition of Oklahoma, a place that I have so much respect for. So great testament to what kind of program we have here at South Carolina. No South Carolina team has ever beaten Oklahoma until today. So what a performance by our guys, and just couldn't be more happy for them. I didn't see you. I should have given you a shout out too. They got all the all-stars in here. Come on in, ladies. Mommy's in the back. Go ahead. Questions. I'm sorry.
Question. Good. Shane, you guys get the big start, 21-0.
Yeah.
You had an offensive game plan to go ahead and be aggressive, try to attack them. Any thought at that point, like, well, 3 touchdowns maybe you don't want, but just how was kind of the thinking developing as you guys got?
Yeah, no, we didn't want to change our mentality at all. If anything, my conversations with the offense in the first half was make sure we stay loose on the sidelines. Like, it's been a minute since we've been out there, and make sure when we do go out there that we take the field with the same killer instinct mentality that we need to have. And certainly we knew that when we got up like we did, it was going to be hard for them to come back and overtake that if we could continue to play well, but also knowing it's a long way to go. So it didn't really change our game plan. We wanted to be aggressive and take shots downfield and press the issue, and we continued that throughout the game. It may not have looked at it like it in the second half, but we tried. Yeah, he went into the game fine, and then had to tweak something a little bit, and we just didn't think he was running great. There were a couple times in the first half where we felt like they ran past him a little bit, and we just we don't need to be getting run past in coverage. So we've got confidence in those other guys, and it was good to see Vicari and Judge and David Spalding get out there and play.
Yeah. How challenging will it be to limit your defensive players of the game to
Yeah, we gave us some game balls in there, and I apologize to the defensive guys that I didn't give a game ball to. Just effort. I mean, those guys were hunting today defensively, and on the headphones in the fourth quarter, somebody, how are you? On the headphones in the fourth quarter, somebody said, yeah, that's the record. And I guess we had 9 sacks today, which has never happened to an Oklahoma offense in the history of their program. If that's accurate or if that's inaccurate, I apologize to all Oklahoma people, but I was told that they've never given up 9 sacks in a game. So we certainly gave a game ball to the whole defense. When you get 9 sacks, that's really good. And but we continue to get better, without a doubt. We got a lot of young guys in there today up front on defense. Fred Johnson played a lot at linebacker. So we just continue to get better. And we told our team, Hale, that we've played 6 games. Nobody expected to be 3-3, but this was literally halftime, and we needed to come out of halftime to start the second half of the season, meaning today, with some great energy and momentum. And boy, did we.
Obviously, Shane, this is your return to OU. Does this game, this win, feel any extra special compared to the other ones you've had in your tenure?
It's certainly, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't extra special coming back to a place that I have so many amazing memories at. Personally, the time I came here, not to get sappy as a dad, but we moved here and we had what year was that? 18. So we had a 9-year-old daughter and a young son when we moved here, and now that 9-year-old daughter's driving and taking the PSAT, and the son is criticizing coaching decisions and things like that. So I think back to them, how little they were when we were here, and the great memories we had, without a doubt. And just really grateful and appreciative for my time here. There's so many awesome people here at Oklahoma. Joe Castiglione, Joe Harris, Larry Nafe. I mean, there's so many, and grateful for the opportunity they gave me. It was cool seeing so many players that I coached when I was here that are like Woody Washington was a player when I was here, and Jeremiah Cradell's a coach on their staff, and Nick Basquin and Caleb Kelly, and seeing Rodney Anderson, who was one of our running backs when I was here and had a tragic knee injury that cut short one of his season. I mean, there's just so many cool memories here, professionally and personally. So certainly it's extra special coming back. But whether I had coached here or not, this would have been like one of the more special wins in my time here because of the way that our guys played, the way they responded, coming off a bitter disappointment last week, and then just came right back to work and got better this week. That makes it even more special.
When you think about the last 6+ quarters of play of your team in Tuscaloosa and here against those two opponents, what do you think it says about what you're accomplishing, what you're trying to do?
That we can go toe-to-toe with anybody in this country. I mean, if you're one of the better teams in the SEC, you're one of the better teams in the entire nation. And our record may not say it, and we know that every week is a grind in this league, Phil, but we've shown that we can go toe-to-toe with the best in this league. And that's what it shows. But even more so than that is just the young men that we have in our program. I mean, they're so much fun to be around, and every Sunday I walk off that practice field, like I said, and just grateful to be their coach, because never once, Phil, this whole season have I had to go out to practice and give some rah-rah speech to get them to practice harder, or give some rah-rah speech to motivate them to go play the next week. They stay the course, they work their butts off, and that's what you would expect from a veteran team as well. I mean, we've got a lot of old guys on our team, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, and I'm just so happy for them. I mean, you can hear it. I'm so happy for them to just have the success that they had today, and they worked too hard for us to feel the way that we have felt like we did last week. It's really cool to be able to feel this way today.
Shane, I know that your edge guys have been some of the best in the country all season, but did you feel like coming into this game that you guys had a massive advantage there? It seems like they were back there the whole game.
Yeah, I wouldn't say massive. I know what kind of coach Bill Beatenbow is. I worked with him. I know the tradition of offensive line here. I know the way that he coaches his guys. I think every week that we line up and play, we feel like we have an advantage against the opposing offensive line. I don't care who it is. I wouldn't say it was any different this week. I mean, I know that they've had some issues, protecting the quarterback, but I wouldn't say that we felt any better or different this week. It was more just all 11, and we got a good group. People talk about the edge guys, but we're really good on the inside at tackle as well, and we've got athletic linebackers that can move sideline to sideline, and defensive backs that do a great job on the back end also. Great question. A little of both. I mean, it's always scheme and Oklahoma does a lot defensively, schematically, but I feel like we do too. I mean, sometimes when Clayton gives me the installs, that was a slip. When Clayton gives me the installs for like what they're doing on Monday night, it's like the base game plan. Tuesday it's third down. Wednesday it's red zone. When he gives me it, I mean, sometimes that packet's like that. I'm like, God almighty, like, can we get all this called and coached? But we've got older guys and we're able to do a lot. So certainly it's scheme, but I think just defense in general is about effort. And I told you guys the keys to the game this week. One was dominate the turnover battle, but the other key that we talked about all week was straining, and STRAIN. Like, you got to strain every play, and we did that. I said that because of the respect I have for this program, because I know how hard they play. I mean, so many of their sacks come from first, second, third, fourth effort. I mean, that 32, our Mason Thomas, we recruited him. Like, he is relentless when it comes to rushing the quarterback. So we knew that we had to play harder than they did. And, I never have to motivate our guys to play hard, but it was certainly a key this week that we needed to really strain to make plays today.
On the 3 turnovers early, I guess do you remember ever being part of a game with a sequence like that right off the bat? And 2, is there anything you noticed, any similarities between those 3, either schematically or just a common thread between 3 plays like that in such a short period?
I'd say the one common thread is Nick Emanwari is an elite football player. Wow. Yeah, he's just a really good player. So credit to him with the plays that he made. It goes back to effort. Play games like that. I can't remember one where just you get off to a start like that, where you score on defense like we did and fly around. I mean, those guys were on a mission today to get takeaways, and they did it from the jump.
Offensively, what did you see out there? I mean, I would guess kind of touched on it earlier, being so big, so quick.
Yeah, kind of the same story. Not finishing drives at times. Like I said, first drive of the third quarter, we got a chance to get 7 points on the board, and we have 2 penalties that back us up, and end up having to punt, I believe, on that drive. The drive there towards the end of the first half where we scored a touchdown, I mean, that was really good. That was a key drive right there to really give us a bigger lead going into the half. But overall, just not as efficient as we need to be. And look, this is a really good defense, but every defense we're going to play the rest of the season's got a really good defense in this league, and then Clemson at the end of the regular season. So we need to be better. I think we're going to look back at the tape and we're going to see that we had plays there. We took a sack where I think we were getting ready to throw a deep ball in the fourth quarter, where we maxed it up and got beaten protection at the tight end position. And Brady was supposed to be getting some help on that play, and I don't think he got the help quite like he needed. And we took a sack, so we've just got to we're stubbing our own toe too much offensively, and we've got a bye week now to really hammer in going into game 8, where we can be a lot more efficient offensively than what we were today, for sure. Now, we did a great job. I'm sorry, I'll come back. We did a great job of protecting the football. Like, did we have a turnover? Okay, so coming into this game, that was huge. When I say the key was to dominate the turnover battle, it was because Oklahoma coming into this game, I think, was number 7 in the country in taking the ball away, and we were 12. So it was going to be critical to whoever won the turnover battle, and my mom was going to win the football game. And a key was to dominate it, and we dominated. I'm sorry.
Shane, a very Oklahoma-centric question for you. You were a part of some offenses at Oklahoma that are some of the best that college football's ever seen. It's been a 180 here in Norman in terms of what it looks like defensively and offensively for Oklahoma. What's maybe the biggest difference that you've noticed offensively? Is it something that they're just struggling to find success? Is it a talent thing? I guess what is the biggest difference that you've seen from when you were here to this now?
Yeah, I mean, certainly injuries are an issue. I saw Jaden Gibson before the game. I know what kind of player Jaden is. We tried to recruit him to South Carolina. I know the transfer receiver. I think TJ's locker is like right there, so that's who you continue to hear as well. The transfer receiver from Berks, he obviously is a weapon. And I told Coach Venables after the game, like, I've been there. We had injuries on offense last season. We had 9 different offensive line combinations in the first 9 games. We started 3 true freshmen last year on the offensive side of the ball for us. And this ain't the league you want to be going through growing pains in, just because of the defenses you face every single week. The general manager of the New York Giants was here today, and I was telling him before the game, like, this is like, I see you pop up there, Jack, as well. Giants, aren't you a New York guy? Or you're a Buffalo guy? Yeah, sorry. All right. I gotcha. But he was here, and he and I were talking, like, this is like the NFL, man. Like, every Sunday when I start watching the next opponent and I start watching their defense, it's just NFL draft picks everywhere in the front 7, and you're like, God almighty, like, when do we play the team that doesn't have NFL draft picks everywhere? And today, this defense is no different. And it's hard when you have a freshman quarterback, you've had some injuries at receiver, you've had some injuries on the offensive line. It's just tough in this league. And we got A&M next, and I know they got dudes all over their front 7, and I think Oklahoma has Ole Miss next. I can assure you they got dudes all over their front 7 as well. And then the other thing, too, is just, you know, let's be honest, when I was here, I was telling our coaches before the game, when you have Kyler Murray, then Jalen Hurts, and Spencer as your quarterback 3 years in a row, you better have a quarterback in this league. And I'm not saying they don't, but they got young quarterbacks that are certainly learning on the fly in the toughest conference in America.
John? What went into starting Kaysen over Jatavius, and also you mentioned the bye week earlier.
Yeah.
How you always have competition every week in practice, but how wide open do you make that offensive line during the bye week?
Yeah, the decision to start Kaysen, he was our starter going into the Alabama game. Did he play great against Alabama? No. Did he get banged up against Alabama? Yes. And practice matters at our place, and we felt like Kaysen had the better week of practice over Tavy. But we have high hopes for both of them. I think the thing for us is just getting some guys healthier. You know, Tro's healthy. I wouldn't say Tro's 100%. Tree's not probably 100%. So we need to get guys healthy, but we've got to be more efficient offensively. But again, it's not just the O-line. It's everybody on that offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, Shane, during the game, I heard some OU fans saying, hey, I thought Shane's a good guy. He's making field goals. He's running the 2-point play. I said he's just screwing with the Aggies for the next game.
Well, to me, Barry, you never relax. I mean, this is a good football team that no matter what the score was at halftime, like we're trying to score points, and that's what we were trying to do. So the 2-point conversion, if you go by the charts that people say, when you're up by whatever we were at that point, the chart says to go for 2. And we had been saying before that, like literally the whole second quarter, the next time we score a touchdown, we're going to do this. We've done that. These guys that have followed us, we've done a lot of those muddle huddle extra point things with our field goal team to try and steal 2 points. So we said at the beginning of the second quarter, the next time we score a touchdown, we're going to do it. So that's what that was. And then the field goal at the end of the half, we had it. Brady was wide open. Kai hung on to, I can't believe I'm saying this about our punter. Our punter hung onto the ball too long, and if he had just gotten his head around and just heaved it, we got what we wanted. And that was just something that into the half, they're in a max block situation where you know they're coming after it because it's the end of the half, and they're probably not worried about a fake. And we felt like we were in field goal range, but felt like we knew what we would get from them in a max block situation where they would bring 11 and not be very fake conscious. And that's basically what they did. I mean, they were able to make a play on the ball, but it wasn't trying to do anything but points are hard to come by against this defense. And we felt like we had a good opportunity instead of trying to get 3 to get 7 right there. And that's what it was. I am a good guy. I've got a ton of respect for these people and a ton of respect for this program and think so much of so many people here in Norman. Yeah.
What, if any, differences did you see from OU's offense when they made the quarterback switch?
Did you write that article yesterday? Yeah. Thank you. That was pretty cool. Appreciate you doing that. Maybe I made somebody go out and buy a paper yesterday as well, so I could remember that. But pretty cool comments in there as well. So thanks for doing that. We thought we were ready for both quarterbacks. You know, we knew going into the game. We talked about it all week, myself and the defensive staff. Okay, they're struggling offensively. What's going to be their answer? Is it going to be maybe a little bit more tempo check. They did a little bit more tempo, I think. I mean, just trying to go fast a little bit more often than I think they have. We were ready for both quarterbacks, but we really didn't treat them any differently. Arnold, he can run. I mean, he's a good athlete running the football, so we had seen that on tape, and we were ready for both of them. You know, I don't know quite how different their offense was. Maybe they, threw it a little bit more with Arnold in there, but we were ready for both quarterbacks and really didn't feel like we had to change our game plan in any way. Going into the game for us, it was going to be, if we're in man coverage, let's be really physical and aggressive with these receivers. And regardless of which quarterback was in there, that's what we wanted to do. And if we were playing zone coverage, let's stay on top of them and not let people run past us, and then rally to the ball and tackle and then pressure the quarterback. And that was going to be the plan no matter who was in there.
Can you take us through the fake punt stop, kind of what was going on the sideline before that and what allowed Demetrius to make a play there in a big spot?
Yeah, so our 3 keys to the game, Alan. Number 1, dominate the turnover battle. Number 2 was strain. And number 3 was do not allow them to steal an extra possession. And let's be honest, you had an offense that was struggling in here. We expected them to do something. They've got a history here of faking punts. They've got a history of faking field goals. They faked a field goal against Iowa State with Coach Venables. They faked a field goal against Texas Tech a couple years ago with Coach Venables. They faked field goals. And one thing that we talked about was, if you go way, way, way back, there's a lot of people here at Oklahoma that came from Clemson. And Clemson's, they have faked a lot of punts around midfield when you've got the team has like their defense out there, what teams call punt safe. Like, you don't put your punt block team out there. You keep your 11 defensive guys out there. And that's what we had out there. So we worked a lot on fake field goals and fake punts this week, just trying to prepare for it. They gave us a little bit of a different formation than we had prepared for. Putting 3 basically receivers over there into the boundary where we were was not normal for them. So I'm screaming at D Knight and Joe D to get out here because I knew that wasn't normal for them. And I wish D Knight had gotten out there a little bit quicker. But great job by him rallying to the ball and being able to get that guy on the ground and get a stop right there. So there's our 3 keys to the game, and they all happened.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep, thank you guys. Y'all enjoy your trip back.